Hello. I wanted to talk about another main aspect of being a conservative, and to me, that is that there is a limited government. I believe this is the essence of our founders, the essence of most of the good politicians that we've had throughout our history. Um, and I believe this is an emphasis that we must insist upon with our representatives. Unfortunately, uh, both Republican and Democrats, when they get into power, seem to be consumed by that power and the expansion of that power. And that's why it's so important that what the Tea Party has started must be continued. And that doesn't mean that every Tea Party representative will also be good, but it is something that we must fight for, because if we don't fight for it, we will lose it. Um, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to give just some incredible examples that just popped up today in today's news. There's a story out there that the District of Columbia has passed a law that um, all rats that are caught by pest control people cannot be killed. They must be captured and released, and especially they must be captured as a family. And, and the law, which is even more ridiculous than that, requires them to be taken at least 50 miles away and released. Well, that means that you're going into Virginia or Maryland. But apparently, the way they've written it, they tend to take them to Virginia and just release them. The insanity of believing that you can identify a rat family is just asinine to the nth degree. And it's hard to believe that someone could write a law like this. But apparently, someone who's grown up into this um, history of uh, animals are as important as people, um, or in this silly idea of global warming and that we're destroying the world as a civilization, or any a number of examples of liberal thinking. Um, and they have begun to believe that rats that carry disease, rats that um, are just one of the most prolific animals that will continue to grow in their population if you don't destroy them. I mean, how can anyone believe that releasing them in Virginia is good for all the people in Virginia, but in particular that it does anything um, for Washington D.C. Um, it is insane that someone has written a law like this and passed it, and then they take their law and push their problem off on someone else. If Virginia doesn't stop this incursion into their land, then they will have a rat problem. And there are constant stories about the Occupy group, especially ones in D.C., where they have just massive rat problems because of how um, poorly they maintain their property where these Occupy people get together. And um, and then we also have a story out today that the state of California has decided to regulate um, battery chargers to the nth degree. They say that their standards will save us millions of dollars, and it will only cost us like 40 cents or whatever. But I have heard these stories for all my life, and now I've gotten to the point where I don't believe them. I truly don't believe that the EPA of California or the EPA of the United States has my best interest, or has the best interest of the people that they serve. I believe these regulations are nothing more than obstacles for a business to get by and have to exist in. I don't trust their numbers about what they're going to save, and I believe that more than likely they will cost more than they will save. In particular, they're going to have more people on staff to keep track of these stupid laws. And I don't know if you saw the story about a week ago or so that in 2011 there were 40,000 new laws estimated to have been created throughout the country in states, localities, or the federal government. 40,000 new laws. It is the essence of why conservatives want or should want limited government. We have to break this massive government. Obviously, the biggest purveyor of that power is what Obama is doing. I mean, he's taking power right and left. But these are just two small examples of a government that's out of control. Just think of it, the small things that they are trying to control every day. How much salt do we have? How much butter we have? And many times, or most of the time actually, they discovered that later on these things don't help us. That they aren't creating better health for us. And all they end up doing is costing businesses to raise their prices, which causes us to have to pay more. And this is what the essence of liberalism is. They increase government. They increase the regulations. And by increasing those regulations, it increased our cost. It takes away our freedom to choose. And this is the essence of everything that Obama and the Democrats are doing every day. And unfortunately, some Republicans also join into this because they all seem to believe that they are smart enough to control this government, or they're smart enough to be of help to us, and that we need help. It just disgusts me how these people believe that that they can be in better control of our lives than we could. But in particular, it just fails to learn from history. It fails to understand the truth that every instance where government grows bigger in history, that they take control of people's lives and they ruin people's lives. You can look at the most evil governments like Hitler or Stalin or whatever, but you just have to look at what happens in Europe or other countries that have liberal Democrat power or socialist governments. They take, and most of the time they don't give back. They don't allow freedom to occur, or they try to limit that freedom. I mean, there's stories about in Britain, I believe it was, where they are tracking everything that goes into their trash cans, and and every one of these instances takes away our freedom, and if we don't fight for it, we will lose it. And I think it's incredibly important that we don't give up, that we fight against this stuff, and hopefully we can join together and figure out ways that we can stop it. Thank you.